Welcome back to the show. With us now is Smita Satiani. She is a sexual assault counselor for the state of California and has worked directly with several cases of military sexual assault. She's also an employee here at Brave New Foundation. Thanks for being on the show,
Good.
Smita.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I guess just to start things off, what is the difference between military sexual trauma and what people experience in the civilian world?
There's a lot of common aspects to both military sexual assault and what civilians would experience if they were sexually assaulted here in the States. There's a very low reporting rate. It's difficult to prosecute both cases. There are a lot of shame and blame aspects when it comes to the entire crime of sexual assault. However, when a person is sexually assaulted in the military, there are a few more access burdens that they have to experience that are very unique to military personnel. For example, if someone's assaulted, they may have to live or work with their perpetrator and see their perpetrator on a daily basis, that kind of thing. The reporting for sexual assault in the military is different than the U.S. criminal justice system. So there are a lot of different things and additional burdens that which military members have to face.
Yeah. In the story, we hear Angie talking about when she decided to bring the issue up, and when she approaches her commander, he says to swallow it. Is this a common scenario?
I'd really like to say that this is something that I've heard of for the first time right now, but it's something that I have heard of before. And I think that there are commanders that often say that because of the fraternal nature and the familial nature of the military. It might be harder to report a crime when you're supposed to be family, almost family, with these people that are working and living with you every day. However, I've also heard of stories where commanders have been amazing and have taken the issue very seriously and have, taken the perfect measures. So I think the real issue here is that there is a lot of inconsistency. In one case, it might be a perfect case. In another case, it might be something that, like in Angie's case, where she was told to basically shut it. So, when you're assaulted here in the States and when you're a civilian, you know that there's going to be certain things that happen to you. You can call 911, a police officer will come, someone will take the evidence. There will be certain proper things that happen that are very consistent. Procedure. A proper procedure, exactly. And so, in this case, in military, sometimes that doesn't always work out that way.
Okay. What is it that military women in this scenario, what can they do in reaction to this?
The first thing I would say is if an assault just happened to you, and if this is something that is very fresh, your personal safety is the #1 concern. So make sure you get into a space where you feel safe, relatively safe. Of course, this is different if you're on a base or if you're abroad, and if you're on deployment, it can be difficult to get into a safe area. But that is the first #1 concern. Secondly, make sure you preserve all evidence. Even if you feel like you don't want to report the case right then, you might change your mind 6 months from now. And the military investigative procedure has a mandate where they have to save evidence anonymously for 1 year. So, don't take a shower. It might be hard. Don't brush your teeth. And make sure you keep all the clothing that you're wearing if an assault happens to you. And know that, there's a proper investigative body that has been appropriated from the Department of Defense, the SAPR office, which is supposed to be in charge of all these issues. So you can call them directly.
All right. Well, thank you, Smita, for joining us here today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for addressing such an important issue.
Yeah, it's needed to be done. It's something that light is rarely shed on. It can be sometimes a shadowy issue. So thank you for the work that you do.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll let you get back to work.
Okay.
And if you or someone you know is a victim of sexual assault, just like Smita said, call the RAIN hotline at 1-800-656-4673. And consider the Solutions tab on our website at intheirboots.com a resource as well, where organizations and resources are waiting for you. On next week's show, we'll be bringing back a couple audience favorites as we show you Beating the Odds and Homecoming. And following that, on December 3rd, we'll be back here with a new show as we debut the story of a family who suffered a loss upon their son's return home from Iraq. Here's a preview of that now, The War Within.
When Jeff joined the Marines, I was really taken aback. I didn't expect it.
Everybody gives that sigh of relief and goes, oh, they're back, they're fine. Our wishes, our prayers were answered.
I remember exactly where we were standing in my parents' kitchen. He threw 2 dog tags at me. and said, "Don't you understand your brother's a murderer?"
In fact, on one of the poster boards, we put an excerpt from one of Jeff's last letters to us. But I think it said about the childhood being wonderful, but I am ashamed of the man I've become.
Well, that's it for this week. We'll see you back here for another episode. Until then, take care.
I brought this with me, but I'm not really religious. I'm just into the spiritual part, like whatever makes me feel love and forgiveness and present moment. And every time I see him sitting there, it's just like calm. It's nothing's important. And that's why I like Buddha. I just look at him like, oh yeah, I can just sit quietly. There's nothing to do. And that's why, I don't know, I like that statue a lot. It goes with me everywhere I go. He rode the back seat for 2,100 miles. So I was like, hey, what's up, you know? This rosary I got from my grandma. That's how I got sober. Just praying on the beads and saying, please God, I don't know who you are, but help me. And I would just like, I couldn't remember any of the prayers, so I just started saying, I'm grateful I have legs. I'm grateful I have arms. I'm grateful I can breathe. And that was like surrender, like please help me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know I did a couple foxhole prayers, like please God get me out of this. I don't know who you are, but help, you know? And I really did think I was gonna die. And so I just thought, I remember praying like, God help me. I don't wanna die. Please help me get out of here.